What's up, everybody? Let's talk Jets radio. What a long day. I should have did this video like 6 hours ago. I would have been a lot more excited over the Jets win, which I still am. But of course, the letdown of the New York Mets, the full range of emotions that I was just talking about on Twitter, as it relates to sports. The high, the euphoria, beating a division rival at home, seeing a young team turn the corner like that, and then watching the New York Mets' great season just absolutely implode, short of any real postseason play. I don't consider, the three-game wild card series actual playoffs. I didn't consider the Giant game in 2016 a playoff game. To me, that's for the opportunity to go to the playoffs. And once again, for the fifth straight time now, at home in elimination games, the Mets go home. So absolutely devastating. Baseball gods are cruel sometimes. It certainly feels like the Mets should have still been playing, led the division all year, didn't even play bad down the stretch. The Braves were great, but like I said, you still got to handle your business. You still got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and ultimately their aces just didn't pitch like aces down the stretch. So a lot of issues. You can go back to the deadline. You can go back to waiting until the Brave series to call up Frankie Alvarez. I never understood that. Just a lot of questions about the Mets. Especially their future now with Nimmo a free agent, Diaz is a free agent, Degrom's going to opt out. How much is Cohen willing to pay him? And then just going beyond that. I mean, right now you lead the league in payroll, and this is what it got us. So clearly a lot of things to address, and just don't know which direction they're going to go. But getting to the positives, going to the New York Jets, so cool to see such a great turnout. And yeah, I know there were a lot of Dolphin fans there today. But there were also a ton of Jet fans. The building was pretty damn close to being sold out. When you looked around the upper deck, most of the sections were pretty filled. So you give a lot of credit to everyone that showed up. I think early on there was a lot of excitement, especially coming into the stadium. Just hearing the Jet chants coming up the escalator. The back and forth. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. The back and forth with a lot of Jet fans and Dolphin fans. It felt like there was going to be a lot of fights. So I actually give both sides a lot of credit. It was there was a lot of hostility, but it never, at least I didn't see anything really bad escalate at all. But you sense the optimism from a lot of Jet fans walking in. Just kind of feeling like, hey, this is our time. The Dolphins, they're a little bit vulnerable right now. They got some guys that are banged up. Like, let's just come in here and hit him in the mouth. And the very first play, Sauce coming in on the blitz, knocks out Teddy Bridgewater. Jets get a safety. And right at that moment, it felt like, you know what, these young kids are ready to take advantage of this opportunity. And not just Sauce, but, Wilson made a couple plays. Brees Hall was just absolutely dominant. The 79-yard reception, some of the stiff arms and the jukes and just the way he's controlling his body, how much more violent he's running now. Just give him the belt back to back, rookie of the week. Phenomenal game by him. And I'll I hate to say this so early. Again, we're only 5 games in, but if I'm going to be fair, for all the critique I gave Zach at times, and he didn't put up any remarkable stats today. I think he was around like 230 yards. I didn't even get to look at the stat line yet. But I know the completion percentage was certainly up from where it was last week, and it just looked like he was going through his reads better. It looked like he was more comfortable. 3-step drops, getting rid of the ball, a little bit more pinpoint accuracy. He looked comfortable. He looked confident. He looked the part of a franchise quarterback in the making, a guy that's not there yet, but with all the tools, who's really starting to genuinely figure it out. Like, no bullshit. Like, this kid is really starting to get it. It's starting to click. I had some questions with some of the play calling, the 4th and 1, going deep. I forget who they threw it to. Going 20 yards down the field. I didn't think that was the time for it there. But overall, I've been very impressed with what Zach Wilson's been able to do, especially coming back from the injury, kind of being behind things. And what a job also by AVT, making the switch again, right tackle, no pressures, no hurries, no sacks given up. I mean, put this guy anywhere on the offensive line, he's absolutely going to dominate. The Jet safeties, they played pretty well. I know Whitehead was banged up a little bit. He came back in. The D line, it's funny with them because it seems like in moments, I was talking to a few people about this. It it feels like in moments they just kind of disappear where you don't notice them at all. But then in a lot of the big moments they show up, and Carl Lawson had a real big pressure that caused one of the interceptions, and then had the big strip sack towards the end that Quinnen picked up. He also had a sack. JFM, he was getting pressures all over the place. This D line now is like really starting to, pin their ears back, look a little bit more comfortable. It seems like Lawson's, just looking more explosive after those first 2 weeks where he didn't look so great. It just seems like everything is starting to click. These guys are buying in. And someone else that you got to give credit to who, was kind of on the ropes a little bit this game. I don't know if Saleh would have recovered from this if they would have lost to Skylar Thompson, rookie 7th round quarterback. If the Jets would have given up that lead, and it wasn't looking great at one point. It went from 12-0 to what was it, 19-7, and then the Dolphins had a chance to kick a field goal to go ahead, and that was pretty much the turning point right there. The Jets take advantage of it, go down the field. 5 rushing touchdowns, just unbelievable. Like, what more do you even say? Hearing the atmosphere in the fourth quarter, that showed me a lot about, what we talk about in regards to the atmosphere, where it's like fans are just waiting for something to latch onto and get excited about. And all this time, like, the second, third quarter, I felt like things kind of died down a little bit, but it was more just like that feeling of, all right, here we go again. The Jets are about to do the same old Jets type of shit, lose to a rookie quarterback. Like there's that feeling, that hopeless, like the scars are still there for a lot of Jet fans. And for as many fans as there were in the building, the energy certainly started to die a little bit in the third. But then once they got that touchdown and they went up 9 points, you could just absolutely feel the energy just come back, and fans felt like, you know what, like, we got to put this game away. And then you just really started to hear the place get to a different level. Tons of defense chants, and we were singing the dude, it was just it was insane. I don't really give props to the crowd all that much, but they answered, especially late today. And seeing these young kids, that's ultimately what's going to get fans to come back to feel like, hey, we're actually watching a product that's really trending in the right direction, where this team could genuinely now be playing meaningful football into December. So, getting to 3-2, however they did it, I don't even care. The comeback with the Browns, the Steelers, they got lucky. They beat backup quarterbacks. Guess what? They're 3-2. They're 3-2. They're young quarterbacks playing well. They're relatively healthy, especially in comparison to the rest of the league. And their young draft picks are legitimately looking, some of them, like they've got potential to be superstars. I mean, Brees Hall's an absolute home run hitter. Michael Carter's still pretty good too. The receivers have looked good. This just all looks like it's finally starting to come together. For as many questions as there were during the second and third quarter, I didn't understand what they were doing right before the half. They had 2 defensive linemen in there with the Dolphins on the 1 yard line. But again, like, this is a young team still kind of figuring a lot of things out, figuring out how to win, figuring out how to close a team that's on the ropes like that. And so, even though they let them back in it, the Dolphins are a good friggin' team, and they ended this one 40-17. That's not something that the same old Jets do. 40-17 against the Miami Dolphins. Share a second place right now. It feels good, man. It absolutely feels good. So as much as it sucks to watch the Mets season end tonight, to have the Jets and all these young players playing so well with a lot of hope for the future and a lot of hope now for the season, that is just extra special and really cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Apologies for my voice. Thank you so much also to everybody who came out to the tailgate today. Really appreciate all the support, all the interactions with everybody. Super cool. Talk to you guys later. Go Jets. Hate you Mets.